Hello, Abigail here with the Tarotscopes for Leo season, Aquarius, Sun, Moon, and Rising. My Aquarians, this is your opposing sign season. You have Pluto in Aquarius. There's a lot happening. If you want to know more in-depth astrological stuff, you can check out my Leo season video. But I think the important stuff to know in this moment is that we are in a Mercury retrograde in Leo. So that's kind of making things complicated. We do get a Mercury Cassini and things like that, which are going to help loosen things up. But it's a lot of intensity and there's a lot of change and shift going on, partially because of the retrograde and us moving into eclipse season right after this, and partially because 2025 has just been a massive year of transformation and shedding. So keep that in mind as we move through the cards. Um, Also know that as the opposition of a lot of what's happening in the sky, pardon me, you will be experiencing a lot of upheaval and shifts and things. So you know, even though only Pluto is transiting your sign, it's a lot. And you have already embarked on this very multiple decade long journey with Pluto in your sign. So hold that knowledge and space for yourself and know that, Pluto things happen in their own time and that you're right where you need to be. And if you aren't, you have some decisions to make. And I think some of those are coming up in this season. Mercury retrogrades can be a shaky time for decision making, but they often do bring us to points of crisis where we have to make a decision without a lot of support or knowledge about the future, and it requires trust. And it kind of echoes this first card, which, ironically enough, the Leos also got this card. You have the Two of Coins. This is about balancing resources and understanding which path to take based on what you have and what you can carry with you, and not just external material resources, but the ones that are innate to who you are. Let the capacity and the space that you have in this moment be a guide for what you need in the near future. I wouldn't say preface long-term plans off of your current capacity, but definitely preface the short-term plans, the things that you can accomplish and you can do with what you have in this moment. You're going through a lot of change and shift, and all of us are, but I think especially Aquarians are really under under the knife. You also have a trine with Uranus in the early degrees of your sign. You also have a sextile to Saturn and Neptune. It's just a lot going on, especially if you have early degree placements in Aquarius. So do what you can do, put one foot in front of the other, and take stock this season of what you have and also what you want to have in the future, and find a sense of balance within your experience and your existence. And we do have the Seven of Cups, and I love this card because in this deck, it's not really about choices per se. It's about transformation. It's about the steps that it takes to evolve as a person. And wherever you are in this dynamic of cups, whether you're at the very beginning phases, whether you're close to the end, or whether you have your little legs, this season is about the transformation of you and the progression of who you are and the choices that are made up of who you are now and the choices that will be the stepping stones of who you are becoming. So allow yourself that space to transform and shift and change, believing in your progression, believing in kind of those imperceptible shifts that we make throughout our lifetime that really become the building blocks of who we are and the experiences that we have. And on top of all this, we also have some pretty solid material progress. Lovely, lovely King of Pentacles. I love the King of Pentacles. It is about this kind of knowing where your assets are. It's about believing in the assets that you have and in your ability to use them wisely and to take control. This is also about valuing yourself. Don't undersell yourself during this season. If you're making a deal, if you're signing a contract, make sure that you are getting reciprocation for your value, and also recognize that I'm not saying accept less, but that value comes in different forms. If you know a job is going to be easier on your body and better for your mental health, maybe accept not less because you're being undervalued, but less because that's as much as you're going to be able to get at that job. rather than taking a job where you are going to be undervalued and used, but paid a little bit more. This is also about standing your ground when it comes to other people and being like, no, this is who I am. This is what I want. And your perception of me doesn't shift who I am and what I want. It just is a reflection of who you are and what you want. And that doesn't really apply to me as a person. So, really be firm this season. It also makes me wonder if we're not going to have some people kind of creeping in who knew you in a different form or iteration and have yet to let go of their personal beliefs around who they think you are, and what they think you should be doing with your life. And this is the time to be like, I'm not that person anymore. This is who I am. These are my values. I know I've changed, and that's totally fine and normal and acceptable. Um, because, yeah, Mercury retrogrades do often return some relationships that either need some closure or need to be used as the universe as an affirmation of your path ahead. And what I mean by that is someone from your past who had a lot of control or energy from you comes in to try to take it, and you go, no, I don't accept that type of behavior anymore. I am ready for this behavior. And I will tell you from experience that mine and my clients, that when you shut those doors, very often another door is now open to you, because you said no to that thing that is no longer meant for you. And then we have a lovely, lovely Ten of Pentacles, which also Capricorn got. I do think there's a lot of really lovely, beautiful, abundant things coming your way. A lot of it has to do with you standing your ground and being fluid and changing with the universe. A lot of it has to do with, this ingress of Saturn into a new sign. There's a lot of new opportunity. I will remind you that the Ten of Pentacles doesn't always happen all at once. It's a gathering of resources. So continue to gather your Ten of Pentacles. Recognize when something is a Ten of Pentacles, value, and put it in that Ten of Pentacles basket. But yeah, I do think something that you've been needing, something that you've been working towards is going to have some fruition. Check out where Aquarius and words Leo are in your chart to get kind of a better read on what kinds of abundance. It's not necessarily always financial. It can be a secure place to live. It can be um, a found family. It can be a multitude of things. So check what house in your chart Leo and Aquarius, that axis they fall in, and it'll give you some information about the good things headed your way, which is always exciting. We do also, however, have this little BB, which is our lovely Ten of Swords, which is exhaustion and stress and burnout, which is kind of the vibe of the energy of 2020. I will say it is in juxtaposition to a Ten of Pentacles, so you're gonna have some really great highs and some really rough lows in this season. Not a huge surprise considering that Pluto's retrograde, Neptune, Saturn, and Mercury are all station retrograde, so it does tend to give these really bursts of highs and lows when we have this kind of direct retrograde planetary dance happening. But hold space for yourself and um, know that in those low spots that there is a high spot to go to, and know when you're at high spots to balance things out that there's a low spot that you'll have to visit. And that's also encapsulated in the season of Leo and Aquarius. So check what planets and placements you have and what might be being affected, by aspect, by the new moon, by the full moon, all of those things. Um, but yeah, don't let the down times get you down so down that you cannot receive or be aware of the high times. And something I tell people, especially if you're going through a grief process or really struggling, is the important thing about low times is allowing yourself to bounce back really fast. Like, if things are bad, it's not disrespectful to your experience for you to feel joy. They can still be bad and you can still have a good day. And it doesn't remove the value of your suffering. And then last but not least, if you can't tell, I'm Mercury ruled, currently under a retrograde. It's stationed today when I'm recording this part. I also have tummy problems. But we have an Ace of Swords. There's something really beautiful and lovely being kind of sparked in our mental world. There's an idea or a thought that is going to bring us a lot of joy and delight and progress. So also keep an eye on the little plans that form up here, on the direction of your thoughts, on the places where your mind goes, and give yourself space to be present in this moment, but also to project and dream into the future. A lot of 2025 is about um, being able to see things for what they truly are and believe that they can be better. And that is my reading for y'all for Leo season. Please like and subscribe if you enjoy my stuff, and I will see you all in a different space and time. Blessed Leo season.